What it do? What it do? What's happening? What's happening, man? This is another episode of Universal Thought Podcast, where I am your host, E. Smith, and we share universal thoughts, ideas, concepts, philosophies, things that make you think, right? My co-hosts aren't here. It's just me. I'm just talking. I just want to jump on today, do an episode on the mindset, because that's really what it's about, man. I want to put this out there real quick. People do podcasts. When you go on social media, all you're gonna hear is, Kamala Harris this and P Diddy that, and Drake and Kendrick this, and it's just a whole lot of celebrity gossip, and it's just a whole lot of stuff to keep us confused. It keeps us distracted. It just keeps us, it keeps us entertained to the point where we don't pay attention to nothing else but stuff that make us feel good. Stuff that's, more or less, I guess, entertaining. That's the only word I can think of right now, is that we just want to be entertained, when there's so much other things that we need to be focused on and we need to be paying attention to, man. Sometimes I be looking and thinking about, like, what the hell world that we just so happen to just fall into. You know what I'm saying? Like, how did we get here? Because now we arguing over stuff that don't even matter. Like, how the fuck are we arguing over? How are we actually arguing over two people, over just people, period? Like, how do we argue over opinions? How do you do that? Like, how if somebody is different than you, they grew up somewhere different than you, they grew up differently than you, they have different interests, they have different likes, different don't likes, they're different, but you fought them almost violently. Like, black people get real violent when people don't agree with us. Like, we have a real problem with accepting when people don't like our opinion. And I don't get it, man. I just don't get it. So it's certain conversations I really don't care even to go into no more, like, with people, especially black people. I'm be honest with you. My folks, I don't even, because we're too emotionally responsive to things. Like, we respond with our emotions instead of responding with a clear mind and something that was thought out before we actually speak, so that the conversation can make sense. Outside of that, it's just, well, you stupid, you dumb. I go through comments. I mean, it's crazy. I go through, when I look at a post or a video or something, and it got something to do with politics or religion, or one of those sensitive topics that most people really don't like to get into because they know where it's gonna go. But I go in the comments sometimes just to look and see what they're talking about, and it's like, how do you get this hateful over somebody else's opinion? Like, how do you just become hateful because they don't think like you? Like, how? Like how does that even work? You know what I'm saying? And I just feel like we get too far away from, we've gotten so far out of nature, it's ridiculous. We supposed to be coming together. None of this stuff is real anyway. And I don't think we even realize that. Like, the stuff that we think is real ain't real. You're in a matrix. You're caught in a matrix. And everything that's going on around you is pulling you farther and farther away from nature and closer into the matrix, where now you really think these things matter. Like, you think the things that you argue about really matter. Like, they don't. Like, they don't matter. It really doesn't matter. It doesn't matter to the point where you express yourself emotionally, and you're emotionally attached to an idea, right? That you haven't expressed to nobody. Like, you haven't actually told anybody why and how you feel about certain things. You know why? Because you don't even know why. See, once you get to know yourself, a lot of things you don't even care about no more. Like, it's certain conversations you don't even really want to even be a part of. That's the point I got to. Like, once I started to really learn myself, I said, man, some conversations is just too much on a low frequency than where I'm willing to go. And it's like I can't even program my mind to even participate. Like I can't. Like it be, if something is going on and some people are talking about something, I'm just literally like out of the loop. Like I don't even know how to come in. I don't know how to engage in this conversation no more, because it don't make any sense. It's not based on logic. Y'all are basing everything off opinion and emotion and how you feel about this, how you feel about that, which is cool. But once it gets to the point where you think how you feel trumps how everybody else's feel, and people are supposed to feel like you feel. When you're giving facts, you're giving a logical explanation as to why you feel that way, people will still fault you. I just don't get that. I just never have. I don't think I never will. But this is really just, now for those who don't know, I'm a credit guru, right? So I'm into the financial, world, the world of credit. I deal with credit. The name of my company is called Elite Credit Connect, right? So you can go to www.elitecreditconnect.com. You can go through my website. You can actually put in an inquiry for somebody to call you back. If you need some help with your credit, if you need consulting, or you need, you need somebody to help you out with your credit. So I have a 3-month program going on to where I should be able to get you where you need to be within about 3 months. May take a little longer, may not take that long at all, just depending on what's on your credit, right? So my whole objective is to try to get you to a 700 and above as soon as possible. So if you ask around, people know me around Memphis. I'm probably, if I'm one of the best, if not the best person doing this in Memphis, because I really use the law, right? I understand the law when it comes to credit. I understand all the ins and outs, do's and don'ts. And I really understand the law. So I use the law against the bureaus to be able to, get this stuff done. So a lot of times my perspective is coming from what I do and the people that I talk to on a regular basis. And I see where our minds are. Like I see the things that we focus on the most, and it's things that don't matter. It's things that's not going to feed our career. It's not going to feed our future. It's not going to do anything for us but distract us. That's all it's going to do. It's pulling you more and more away from the things. Like we all want to be bosses. We all want to go and live this lavish life, which most of us try to make people think that's what we're doing online, but behind closed doors, you struggling. Behind closed doors, you really ain't got it going on. You really struggling for real. Because you put your wants before your needs. I say all the time, man, you don't have a money issue, right? You don't have a health issue. You have a mindset issue. Your issue is your mindset. Once everything that happens in your life, more than likely is because of how you think. Now, some things you can't help. We all know that. I ain't going to sit up here and say that everything in your life is 100% your fault. But I am going to say the majority of the things that happen in your life is your fault. You chose to get in that car that day and go over that girl house and get her pregnant, and now you got a baby mama that you don't want. You chose to do that. You chose to get a whole lot of stuff that you knew you couldn't afford. Now you struggling with your bills and got to file bankruptcy. You made the choice to do that. See, we can't go back in time. Mentally, we don't like to go back in time and see where the problem actually started at. We want to blame everybody else. Those people are hard to deal with. The ones that really don't have no accountability at all, right? So that's where I help people. I try my best to help people in that area, because the mindset is so major, and it's important to try to make the best decisions possible, because that's where you map your life out at. Your decisions, your thinking, your mindset has to line up with where you're trying to go. It has to. You can't have one without the other. You can't get this luxurious and great and awesome and fantastic lifestyle, but your mindset is oodles and noodles. You know what I'm saying? Your mindset is crumbs. Your mindset is backwards. Your mindset is going in reverse, right? So again, some of the issues you think you have, you don't. You actually don't. I just, I changed my, my habits as far as my eating habits. I haven't eaten pork or beef in about 3 years now. I stay away from salt. I'm slowly getting into, the vegan world, but that's going, most of what I've done, I did it cold turkey. I used to smoke Black and Milds. I'm talking about, I stopped everything cold turkey. Now, that was me kind of being afraid of where I was going health wise. I had a few scares. So that made me just, okay, in order for me to like really live the life I want to live, I gotta stop this. As much as I love these type of foods, as much as I love to do this, that, and the other, I gotta stop it because it's really hurting me. And what I came to the realization that most of the things that we think we want are cravings, right? Cravings are things that you're accustomed to having. Like, you don't crave nothing that you've never had. It's most of the cravings you have are the things that you've had before, right? But think about it. We got grown people. I'm 40 years old, and I know 40-year-olds that still don't eat vegetables, that still don't drink water, right? They don't eat no healthy food. They don't eat fruit, nothing, unless it's in a drink, right? So they can't crave it because they never really had it. They don't have it enough to crave it. So the things that, you got to have a relationship with yourself, a relationship with your mind and body to where you know what your body is asking for. You got to know what your spirit is asking for. So while you think you horny, you really just need some intimacy. You just need a hug. You understand what I'm saying? You just need some good energy to be around, right? But you never really had that. All you've had is sex. So now you think you horny, right? Your body is you think you need some energy. Man, I need some energy, man. I'm tired. I need to do this. I need some energy. When really you just need some rest. You haven't had no rest. You constantly going, you worrying about this, that, and the other, and you just really need some rest. You're not giving yourself what you need. You giving yourself what you want, and what you want sometimes is going to hurt you even worse. Like I said, I came to that realization a while ago, and I was like, man, all the stuff that I thought I wanted, I was replacing it. I was, it was killing me. The people that I felt like I needed to be around, the things that I felt like I needed to eat, the career paths, or the things I think I need to be doing. Like sometimes you think you're not doing enough. Right. Man, I'm a businessman. Like, I've been an entrepreneur for 5 years now. Right. And it's the greatest decision I ever made. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna lie. COVID actually birthed a lot of entrepreneurs. You know what I'm saying? And I was one of them. And I haven't been back to work since. I started this podcast. It's going to be going on about 6 months now. So congratulations. Put my button there. Put my little. Thank you. And we've had some great guests. I mean, it's been going better than I thought it was. We've been having some great guests, some people that seen what I've been doing. They say, man, I definitely want to, I want to be a part of it. Excuse me. Shout out to my brother Dre, my co-host, my other partner Chris, aka Slick. They've been holding it down for me, helping me co-host, and we just been rocking and rolling, trying to see where this thing going to, man. And to be honest with you, we got a lot of stuff lined up. A lot of content we about to put out, some events we actually about to throw. It's about to go down. It's finna go down. Like, and I ain't stopping. Like, it's just the beginning. So like, share, and subscribe to this channel. We don't do, again, I don't like the celebrity news, and we talking about this, that, and the other, and blah. Because here's the thing about me, and I know I got off subject a little bit, but here's the thing about me. I don't like, where I'm from, we don't take kindly to disrespect. We don't take kindly to people coming for us, because it'll get serious. I don't do media games with people, right? Excuse me. Ooh. I don't like the back and forth, Now, I can't say that every now and then we'll, throw a name in here, throw a name here or there just to give some, a little bit of context that leads us into a conversation. But we don't get into, really just talking about people, right? Because once I feel like an audience, because a lot of people have fans, like they have their, like they call it a beehive, or, whoever your people are, when they start coming for you, I got to learn how to stay out the comments. Put it like that. I got to learn how to stay away from the comments, because I know a lot of this stuff comes with the territory of being a podcaster, right? So it's content creating. I just don't like to get into many conversations that's going to be too controversial, more or less the mindset behind why. Because my platform is to understand why people think the way they think, not to bash them or not to look down on them or attack them or condemn or whatever case may be, but to actually understand them. Let me fix this camera real quick, y'all. Hold on. Let me fix this camera, because it is about to go dead on me, and I don't want that. Hit it with this plug. Right. Boy, I tell you. There we go. All right. Make sure that's still on the go. We're still rolling cool. All right, cool. I'm back. So what was I saying? So yeah. So we don't get into a whole lot of that. So I like to, it's the Universal Thought Podcast. So the fact that I know that the world is massive and there's all type of different people on this planet, and everybody thinks different. Everybody believes something different. Everybody had this different ideas. What we call weird just may be different. You feel what I'm saying? So again, it's just understanding the mindset of people. I just think that's so important. Mainly because I know I've been misunderstood a lot. Just because I'm trying to get somebody to understand how I think. If you understand how I think, then you will understand me. And that's all I'm going to give you. I'm not going to give you a whole lot of things that I do. Just pay attention to what I do. And then when I talk to you, I'm going to give you my thoughts. But how you do one thing is how you do everything, right? So how I do my podcasting, I'm very consistent. How I do my credit business, my company, I'm very consistent. How I am with people, whether we friends, or not. If we're friends, I'm going to be a consistent friend. If we're not friends, I'm going to be a consistent non-friend. Like, I'm going to be consistent in everything that I do. You feel what I'm saying? So, obviously I have a certain way of thinking when it comes to that. And if you pay attention to what I do, you can kind of understand how I think. Right. So that's just, that's what it's about. You feel me? But at the end of the day, man, you got to know for yourself. You got to know for yourself who you are. Can't nobody tell you who you are better than you can. I mean, you are who you are. It's up to you to find out who you are so you can better explain who you are. Your presentation needs to be on point. So somebody, if they, got some questions down the road, like, hey, don't say I ain't told you. I told you this is who I am. But you got to be real with who you are. You feel what I'm saying? But, most of the time, I run into these issues with customers, with clients and stuff like that. I have clients, man, that have all the excuse in the world. They blaming everybody but themselves about why they in debt, about why they can't get their credit straight, about why they can't do this, why they can't do that. Man, I can't really, until you tell me where you went wrong, I can't really help you, because guess what? You're going to make the same mistakes again. I need you to be a little bit more honest with me. Right. But, again, the things that you think you need, you don't. Those are cravings. You want something so bad, but you're the very thing that you need, and people probably told you, guess what? You ignored them. Everybody has somebody around them that tells them the truth. Those just not the people that you want to put yourself around. You want to be around the people that's going to egg you on to do all the stuff that makes you feel good. And that's all we want at the end of the day. We just want to feel good. But I'm telling you, And we're about to have a podcast on this. We're gonna have a podcast that's gonna come out real soon on on your feelings. And how your feelings really, in a lot of cases, aren't real because they don't affect the external, the outside world. The world is going to keep going regardless of how you feel. And what happens is, people respond from their feelings. They respond based on how they feel. And when you do that, guess what? You may respond the wrong way. And a lot of times it don't turn out right. Like when you respond, if it's not a good feeling and you respond based off a good feeling, you shouldn't respond. You should always think out what you're how you're going to respond, and let it be something that's thought out rather than responding with just your feelings. I had an incident. Well, I didn't have an incident, but I know of an incident that happened. I don't even think I should say that. Never mind, because if the person sees this, they're going to know I'm talking about them. And yeah, let me not even say that. But I know me personally, I responded. In my younger days, I know, you young. So you getting to know yourself. You don't know how you are when you get angry enough or when you get sad enough. You don't even know if you even have a tendency of dealing with depression until you've been hurt so bad that you feel like you want to do something to yourself. That's, what I'm saying? You responding based off how you feel, right? People say things that they don't mean because of how they feel. They do things based on how they feel. And if you do something, somebody's life can be taken. Somebody can get hurt because you didn't think first. You didn't actually, think, right? And to be completely honest with you, the world doesn't really care how you feel. Just being honest with you. The world don't give a damn how you feel, man. I get clients a lot of times that telling me how they feel. They feeling. Listen, when we going to get to the solution? Because I'm going to be honest with you. I don't know how to deal with this feeling thing too long. Like, how long you want somebody to pacify you and coddle you on how you feel as opposed to what we need to do to get you to, a good place so you don't feel like this. And that's the thing. People don't, people want to be motivated. But the only reason why they want to be motivated is so that they don't feel the way they feel now. They want to feel a different way. Like motivation really doesn't get you to get on your feet and doing something. It really doesn't. It just gets you to feel excited enough to do something. It don't mean you really gonna do something. So I used to be that person to try to motivate people, man. Motivation, it's got. But when you think about it, that's the same thing like preachers do. That's and no offense to no pastors, no offense to no preachers. This is not offense to you because I know there's different teachers. Like I know some teachers that will really teach you how to, walk, a straight and narrow. Now I have a different set of, beliefs. I don't subscribe to religion, but I have a very, a high spiritual IQ, if in my, I feel like I do. Some people may not agree because I don't subscribe to their religion, but I understand nature. I understand that, I don't look at God as being a man. I look at God as being the universe. I look at God as being like omnipresent for real. He's everywhere, including on the inside of us. So there's things that I feel like people actually should consider about themselves that will help them manifest more things in their life because they know, they should understand that God lives on the inside of you. So, but that's a different story. Let's not get into me right now. Let's move on. Let's move on. So with that being said, how you feel about something, it doesn't change anything. It really doesn't. Right. So me motivating you. And like I said, going back to preachers, you go to church, the preacher tells you, everything going to be all right. You stay hopeful. God going to bless you, so on and so forth. But there's no clear instructions on how to get to where I'm going. You got some pastors that will literally go down the aisle calling out people's problems. You have an addiction, right? You have a porn addiction. Your bill's late. You're broke, right? You're cheating on your wife. You're doing this. You're doing that. You're doing this. You're doing that. Well, tell me how to get to the promised land, Pastor. Like, tell me how to get there where I need to go. You know what I'm saying? And I know he can't sit up there and tell everybody what to do, but at least give a person some type of instructions, or let me know there is something that I could do in order to get over this. Because that's what motivate. Like, at the end of the day, you done motivated me to acknowledge there is a problem, but I still don't know what the problem is. All I know is I got motivated enough to sow into your church. And then you got people that's dealing with money issues. They still giving their money away, and they still don't have no clear instruction on what they need to do. I'm more solution driven, right? I like to deal with the solution rather than constantly dealing with trying to because let me tell you something. You'll spend your life trying to motivate somebody. You'll spend your whole life trying to like let somebody know this storm don't last always. It's going to get better. You need to get up every morning. You need to do this. You need to do that. Let me tell you something. Man. At the end of the day, motivation runs out. And sometimes people, they don't need motivation. They need a little bit of inspiration, right? They need to be inspired by something. And you're only inspired by something that you actually see. Like, you witness somebody taking steps to get somewhere, right? So that's what, you may be inspired and not be motivated, right? And vice versa. But my thing is, it's just not enough motivation in the world, especially when it comes to black folk, because that's all we want is for somebody to motivate us. But we don't want to move. See, when you start moving, let me tell you something, man, it's going to take a whole lot more motivation to keep you going, because you're going to want to quit. You're going to want to quit. That's why you got to know what you're doing it for. You got to know what you're doing it for. Everything you do, you got to know why you're doing it. That's why your why is so important. That why will keep you, you feel me? It'll keep you in line. It'll keep you consistent. If you don't have a why, you will stop. You're going to quit. You're going to quit. You feel what I'm saying? And mentally, you got to be strong enough to deal with all the things that's going to happen to you throughout the process. You got to be. You need to get everything from around you that's going to distract you from it. And those are even yourself. You need to get away from yourself. You need to restrain yourself from yourself. The things you love doing, things you love watching on TV, you're going to have to take a fast from a lot of stuff, from certain foods. Again, watching TV too late at night, things you watch on TV, things you listen to. You're going to have to get rid, like, it don't work no other way. You got to get that stuff out of your life. At some point, you're going to get used to it. You're going to feel, better. I promise you will. But nobody gives themselves time. So again, everything you think you have, everything you think you like want, it's hurting you based on the fact that there's always something that supplements whatever that void is, that will literally help you, that you need. You understand what I'm saying? Again, we take medicine, for things that could possibly be solved just by getting some rest, going out, getting some sunlight, taking a walk, having a conversation, being around somebody that actually brings you joy. Maybe those endorphins will, start to, kick in to where now that headache. It could be a lot of things, man. We just don't know what we're made of. We don't know, what makes us us. That's why we feel like we should put a whole lot of things in us to make us feel better temporarily. Because when you go to sleep and wake back up, the problem's still gonna be there. Still gonna be there. I look for permanent solutions, not temporary. I think long term. Long term is, it's just I just can't have it no other way. Just can't have it no other way. Yeah, man. But there's, again, my podcast is, it's growing, it's moving. I'm really proud of myself. I'm proud of the people that has come on. I've had a lot of people from Memphis. I had some school, old school classmates that I ain't seen in years, doing different things and movies. Shout out to Danny Green that just, he just came on the podcast. He's doing stage plays and, movies, independent movies. My boy Goon, aka DJ Banner, just came on. We used to play poker together, and he came on and we talked some stuff, man. It's good to see my people doing good, and they come on the platform, they bless the platform and talk about what they got going on, and we share ideas and we really connect on a different level, right? So, shout out to let me see, Jonathan Smith, DJ. Jonathan Smith, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to yeah, we back. Had to get that camera right. Oh man. But yeah, man. Like for real, you ever had somebody to just always tell you, you was dealing with an issue, and the only thing they can tell you, man, it's gonna be all right. It's gonna be okay. It's gonna be okay. How you know? How do you know? How do you know this? That's why you should stop telling people your business. Like, stop telling people what you're going through that's probably doing worse than you. They deal with the same things. Like, two broke people shouldn't be casting their problems on each other. Like, why? What are you doing? Like, that's not smart. You're not going to get no solution. You're not going to get nothing out of it, man. And then when you go to somebody that's in a better situation than you go to them asking for something rather than telling them what you actually need and how can I get there. We use people in the wrong ways. When we should be trying to learn from them, right? Not asking them for stuff, not burning your bridges, not paying them back, and not getting mad at them when they ask for their money back. Like, I mean, what are you doing? Like, you owe them money. You borrow money from them, and now you're gonna need them again. So you need to pay them back. But that's the problem. Your problem ain't money issues. It's mental issues. I say all the time, man. We call mental issues. We say that if we see somebody doing something weird, something wrong with them, they got a mental issue. We see somebody, licking the glass. Well, it is kind of, but we see somebody doing something we feel like is strange, right? I don't want to call out too many behaviors because somebody may look at it, man, you nigga talking about me. But what I'm saying is, we say these people got issues. We say these people got mental problems. A lot of us, I'll say most of us have mental problems. Most of us have mental problems. Because again, if you have money issues, right? You got financial issues that you can't seem to get over that hurdle, right? You always seem to find yourself back in that same situation. It's not about money. It's about your mentality. It's about your thinking. You got a mental issue and you have a mental block. And there's something that you're not quite understanding about yourself that you need to in order for you to get this problem fixed. You think everybody else is supposed to fix your problem. It's just like being sick, right? When you get sick, that's ultimately your fault. It's not necessarily because something was airborne or you caught something from somewhere. Sometimes it's because you don't take care of yourself. You don't eat vegetables. Again, you don't take vitamins. You don't, exercise. You don't do the necessary things to strengthen your immune system. And what tends to happen is at some point you're going to be subject to, I know y'all keep seeing me do this. I got some hair. I got to clip my nose hairs and I got a beard. So this hair is really like tickling me right now. That's why I keep doing it. So don't think that I'm, see that? Yeah. So anyway, but, yeah, it's because you're not eating healthy, man. It's because you're not, I know we think the things that we need it's gonna take too long. So we just bump it. Let me go ahead and do this the easy way. But that's the most unhealthy way to do it. Regardless of what you're doing. Like everything, man, everything starts in your mind first. Just don't think that things gonna come easy just because You probably see somebody else that got results from doing something. You don't even know what they did, but they got some results. They got the results you was looking for. So now you're trying to get the fastest, quickest way to get it, but it's going to be temporary. You don't know what that person had to go through. So whatever it is, a lot of us, we have a lot of mental issues that we tend to ignore, right? You dealing with problems in your relationship. Both of y'all probably got a mental issue. Just because y'all don't know how to deal with each other. Just because y'all don't know how to communicate right. Just because y'all not in tune with who you are. You deal with insecurity. See, all these things are things that you cultivated and subscribe to in your mind. So now you're always overthinking things. You're looking for something to argue about. You're comparing each other to somebody else. You're looking at Facebook trying to compare your life to some. These are mental issues. You've cultivated a mental narrative in your head that you're now applying to your real life situation that ain't got nothing to do with y'all. It literally ain't, y'all created something. Like when you create something that's not there, that's a mental issue. You don't supposed to use your imagination like that. You supposed to, that's not how you use your brain. That's not how you use your imagination. You don't just make up stuff and apply it and place it and put it right here in real life. And now we're going to start talking and argue about this thing that we just came up with. It don't matter. It's not real. Stop arguing over stuff that ain't real. Stop going, creating drama and creating fights, right? That only end up in either a real fight, somebody getting hurt again, or two people going their separate ways, never talking to each other over something that could have been easily resolved. Y'all got mental issues. Fix your mental issue. Mental issues don't always look like somebody that's, remedial or slow or crippled or whatever. That's not how mental issues look. I mean, to be honest with you, most people that don't have those symptoms have mental issues. Just go on Facebook and look. You got people on let me tell you something. You got people on social media that can't stop twerking. Y'all can't. It's females on Facebook. You see they ass more than you see their face. What makes you think what makes you think it's, I ain't gonna say it's okay, because you can do whatever you want to do in front of your own phone, in front of your own camera, whatever. You can do whatever you want to do. But what is it that's what's going on in your mind that makes you want to get on camera and just twerk all day? Like that's all people want to see is ass all day. You ain't got nothing else to offer. There's nothing else to talk about. There's nothing else to show people. Nothing. You just want to twerk all day. That's a mental issue. I know some people ain't gonna like what I say about this, but it is. That's just like somebody going, every time they get a paycheck, they cash their check and just lay their money out on the bed talking about how much money they got. That's a mental issue. What are you doing that for? What are you doing? That's a real mental issue. Right? If if you're constantly getting payday loans, right? You got the money to pay it back. You just don't want to. You go and get another payday loan. And you keep doing this and you find yourself in a deeper hole than you intended to be. Then you file for bankruptcy because you can no longer pay for this stuff. Not only do you file for bankruptcy, you don't pay into the bankruptcy. You got a mental issue. You got a real problem. Mentally, you have a problem. Some people have mental commitment issues. They can't commit to nothing. They can't even commit to the stuff they say out of their own mouth. Let me tell you something. It's certain things you got to have an eye for. You got to look for in people. You feel what I'm saying? Like if you get somebody that always say they promise, like I'm finna do this, man. Look, I'm gonna do this. I promise. Why you promising me? I never promise people anything ever. Even if I know I'm gonna do it, I don't promise them I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna just tell them I'm gonna do it. The only time you promise somebody something is if you didn't you didn't do it the first time. Your word wasn't good the first couple of times, and now you have to promise. I don't have, because I make sure I do what I say I'm gonna do. If I say I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna do it. If it comes down to me not doing it, I'm gonna let you know I can't do it. I'm not gonna just not do it. I'm gonna let you know, hey man, something came up, I can't do it, this, that, and the other, so and so, so and so. If I just so happen, because I'm human, if I forget to do something, guess what? Man, my bad. I'm so sorry. Hey, listen, I'm gonna put it in my calendar, I'm gonna make sure I do it. I promise. But if that person knows me, I may not even have to promise then. I haven't said that in a long. I don't. But again, I listen to stuff like that. Somebody tell me they constantly always got to say they promise. That's a red flag for me. Like, why are you saying that? You must be known for lying. Like, yeah. So that's a mental issue. That's a real mental issue, because you get used to doing it. Your mind is like muscle memory. You're programmed to make promises you can't keep. It's just like lying. Somebody that's a habitual liar, like you go beyond lying. You go from lying to just being in straight denial. That's a mental issue. That's a real mental issue. You got a problem, bro. Sis, whoever you is, there's some of y'all out there. And some of y'all, if it's either you or you know somebody that just, like, why do you lie the way you do? Like, but what we do is we get angry with these people. No, sometimes it's when you expect the best out of people and then they let you down, you can get upset at that. But if you know somebody's behavior, why would you be mad at somebody that lie all the time? If they lie to you, why are you mad? You knew they was going to do it. You need to be mad at yourself. Now you the one with the mental issue, because you got some people that lie about anything, and you got other people that believe everything. Stop believing every damn thing. You the one with the mental issue now, because you believe everything. That's another thing. I don't believe everything. I'm not just going to believe something just because somebody told me to believe it. That to me is a real mental issue. Like, that's, I'm gonna get the definition of that mental issue too. I'm gonna get, matter of fact, let me look it up real quick. Let me look it up and see if I can find what the diagnosis of that is called, right? Let's see. So, let's see. What's the diagnosis? Hold on, I spelled it wrong. All right. Diagnosis for someone who lies all all right. So it's a lot of things. So it says that lying frequently can be a complex behavior with various underlying causes, and it's important to approach it with sensitivity. That's what I was saying. If you know somebody is just like they flat out lie, you got to know how to deal with them. Because like when you attack them, like when you really go full throttle, they're going to lie even more, right? So you got to kind of ease the truth out of them, if that makes sense. There isn't a single diagnosis for someone who lies all the time, but there are several potential psychological and behavioral issues that may be relevant. Your mind, how you think, right? Pathological liar. Another word for it is pseudologia fantastica. This is a condition where a person lies compulsively and often fabricates elaborate stories. The lies are usually told for personal gain or to create a certain image, right? And a person may not always be aware of the impact on others. So they basically lie to get what they want, right? They use the same tactic against anybody. It can be their own mama, for personal gain. Okay. I've met people like that. Yep. Narcissistic personality disorder, NPD. Individual with NPD may lie to maintain an inflated self-image or to manipulate others. We all know that person. Look at me. We all. Yeah. What's crazy is that person doesn't know. Yeah. Individuals with MPD lie to maintain an inflated self-image or manipulate others, right? They often require excessive They often require excessive admiration and have a lack of empathy for others, which can lead to dishonesty. So these type of people, they want people to want them, right? They want people to admire them. They have to have the spotlight. They got to get, they got to be they got to get all the attention in the room. And they only think about themselves. They're very selfish people, and they have very little empathy for others. So when other people are really going through something, they harnessed this almost like this manipulative kind of like way of trying to show empathy, but you can see right through them. Like, they don't care. You feel me? Or they will change, like they'll turn what you're going through on them. Like, they have to make it because they don't want to show empathy. So they have to turn this on, them somehow so that now they can get the attention back on them because they don't know how to console you, right? Antisocial personality disorder. So ASPD. So people with ASPD may engage in deceitful and manipulative behavior as a part of a broader pattern of disregard of societal norms and the rights of others. Let me read that again. People with ASPD may engage in deceitful and manipulative behavior as a part of a broader pattern of disregard for societal norms and the rights of others. So they violate people. Okay. So, let me see if I know anybody like this. Antisocial personality disorder. People with ASP. So they may engage in deceitful and manipulative. Okay. Well, yeah. Oh, yeah. I think a lot of young people deal with this issue. Because if you've been a loner, right? If you've been probably you don't really be around people because people don't really get you. So you just, kind of be alone. You don't really know how to be empathetic. You don't know how to be sensitive to people because you don't be around people enough. So what happens is you come up with conniving, kind of like cunning ways to get over on people. You don't, again, by definition, it's saying that you don't subscribe to what people think is normal, right? And you will probably more likely end up violating somebody. So I had to look more into that definition. It sounds like I know what that may be, but and I got a person in mind who I think may fit that criteria. But we'll move on. We'll move on. Man, they got some histrionic personality disorder. Okay. So this condition involves a pattern of seeking attention and being excessively emotional. Ooh, that sounds like a Taurus. That sounds like straight Taurus behavior. Just sensitive and manipulative. Ooh, man, I don't never want to date another Taurus. Goodness gracious. And I don't care if she's watching this or not. I don't give a damn. But anyway, people with histrionic personality disorder, the conditions that involve a pattern of seeking attention and being excessively emotional. Lying can be a way to gain attention or create drama. I get in a lot of trouble. I ain't gonna say a lot of trouble, but yeah, I know people like this. This definitely fits a few people that I know personally. Yeah. Seek attention. Oh, God. Over emotional. Get emotional about any little thing. And you use, you're going to lie. And then guess what? This person, The people I know that do that, they can come up with a over dramatic story. They can do that. They really can do this in their mind, and they didn't set it to themselves enough time to where they can believe it, and they can draw an emotion from it when they tell it. Like they can really act it out, but they lying the whole time. Goodness gracious. Compulsive behavior. Sometimes lying becomes a habit or a compulsive behavior, not necessarily linked to a specific personality disorder, but rather a pattern developed over time. So, yeah. I know some people that fit that criteria. Lying, it's just like taking a drug. You take it a few times, man, there's some good stuff, Then at some point it becomes a regular thing, and it becomes a straight up habit, and you figure out different ways to do it. You feel me? So yeah. And the last one, it says low self-esteem and insecurity. Man, sounds familiar. Lying can also stem from deep-seated insecurity or a lack of self-esteem, where individuals feel that they need to lie to protect themselves or to make themselves look better. So again, people don't just, it's about how you feel about yourself. How you look at yourself will cause a person to lie. I do know people like that too. They haven't come to grips with who they are. They don't like to let people know who they are. They hide who they truly are and how they really feel about things. Their personal opinions, they don't really want to share them. They hide their past. And, it just becomes one big insecurity that they don't even realize they have. But as a result, they'll start lying, right? They'll actually start over exaggerating. And they don't want to let people know they have a bad past, or even things that they did in their past that they may be considered bad. They just don't want nobody to have a conception about them. Not realize that that's the thing that connects us. Like I don't like perfect people. I don't like to be around people that think they perfect, because I know you're gonna judge me. I know I'm not perfect, and I'm not finna act like I'm perfect. We connect with each other through our trials a lot of times. Things that we share with each other that we may find funny. Like don't sit up here and tell me you had a squeaky clean, like you hiding something. Like, no, I can't talk to you. You sitting up here judging me. You know what I'm saying? For me being honest about my past, but you acting like you ain't never did nothing in your entire life. Come to find out, those are the people that's really, really they're so insecure they become great. They become like real good at hiding their past. Like they we're really hiding anything, to be honest with you. So you gotta watch out for them type of people. But in a nutshell, I'm saying all this to say all these things that these rabbit holes that we keep going down, it's a result of our own thinking. That's it. It's just how we think leads us in a direction that a lot of times we find ourselves trying to get out of. Well, if you want to get out of it, you got to change your thinking. You got to. And man, that's really it. That's all I want to talk about today, man. So we got an episode coming out next weekend. We're shooting. We're gonna have young lady by the name of Tawana. She's a real estate agent. We're gonna have her on as a guest Sunday, and we're gonna get into some deep things. I actually may even have my girl on, and we're gonna kind of have some balance. It's gonna be me, my two co-hosts, and then them two. So we're gonna talk about just the thought behind why people feel the way they feel. Again, this is the Universal Thought Podcast. So we're going to get into a lot of things that, people can start to relate to because they see there's other people that think the same way. What we fail to realize is that a lot of us, even though we live different lives, we've all lived the same life. I used to think that I was the only one that used to have sleep paralysis until I found out there's other people that do it. We live the same life. I used to think I was the only one that used to, put my finger on the stove just to see what would happen. And we get that little brown circle on there just to find out it was other kids that did it too. Like, we live the same life, most literally. And it may be some weird stuff you think you're the only person in the world do. You'll find out it's everybody does it. Right? So, just knowing that, man, that we feel like we're alone in this world because people just are not honest about who they are and how they think. That's it. All you need to do is understand how people think, and that will draw you so closer to that person. Not to criticize them as to why they think the way, but just to understand why they think it and appreciate who they are, because now they appreciate who they are and they're accepting it. And now they're willing to tell the world who they are. Right. That's what the Universal Thought Podcast is, man. So we're trying to get this thing going. Again, it's just starting out, man. Help support us, help us build a brand, like, share, and subscribe to the channel. I don't care if you don't never, click on the episode when the bell goes off, but just subscribe. You may start liking it. I'm a likable guy. We have good people, and here in Memphis, we have our challenges, man, but I'm trying to highlight, people that's actually doing something, making some moves, have positive things going on in Memphis, so that we could be known for something other than shooting and killing. You dig what I'm saying? So it's a journey, but I'm enjoying the journey. It's all about growth, and people can appreciate that. So I'll see y'all on the next episode of Universal Thought Podcast, man. You dig.